Okay, we're recording. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the Right is Right podcast. I am Nanya, and my co host is Harriet Tubman, the strawberry version. We
That's
may
right.
change our names from time to time, but I'm sure no one can forget the silky sound of our voice. I'm glad I had that little side panel up for the beginning of the recording. I'm sure that's gonna be great for the video quality.
What side panel?
Oh, you didn't see it?
No.
Basically, like start recording or not. I'm sure you could see it. On the end.
Nice.
Okay, so we're gonna have a few topics and just chat it out. Like, comment, subscribe, of course. So the first topic today. This is Tuesday, September 26th, 2023, the year of our Lord. So the first story I'm thinking about today is the news, more news of corruption with Hunter Biden and Joe Biden in China. So let me share my screen real quick. So here are just some stories that broke somewhat recently, an hour ago, 2 hours ago. Hunter Biden received 250K wires originating in Beijing with beneficiary to the let's see, to Joe's Delaware home. So yet again, more and more stories of corruption linking Joe Hunter and Joe Biden to foreign countries getting paid off, and nothing is being done about it. So here we're talking about China. We have everybody knows about Ukraine already. What are your thoughts on that, Harriet? Think anything's going to be done about this?
Absolutely not. I have zero opinions on the whole Hunter Biden issue. I think it's just going to be a whole lot of nothing coming from that. I
I would
think that
agree.
he's going to get away with it as usual, as he has in the past with pretty much everything. This is, Big Daddy Joe Biden,
Big Daddy Joe, the big guy.
the big guy. That's
Must be
right.
nice to have a big guy.
So, I mean, we've got like tons and tons of proof with damning evidence to lock up Hunter Biden or at least get Joe Biden impeached and out of office, um but nothing happens with that. And then we have Donnie T, and he's indicted like every other day on basically nothing. So I really have no hope for any justice being served with the Hunter Biden situation.
Yeah. And you'll notice that all the first links are Fox, Daily Mail. I mean, Fox is questionable. New York Post, the outlet that broke the laptop story. And then it kind of peters out. You don't see CNN, ABC, CNN for March about something. What a joke. And then on top of this, I think Hunter's been indicted by the same person in the DOJ that was going to let him off in a lenient sentence. So they're pretty much going to investigate him, maybe charge him with a little slap on the wrist just to make everybody go away and say they're not partisan and nobody really gets in trouble, but they can say, yeah, we did something about this.
Yeah,
So that's great.
which is total BS, but it is what it is. And at this point, I mean, I care less about Hunter going to prison, and I really just care about the fact that that clearly shows corruption in the Biden family, and therefore there's a serious conflict of interest, or at least some sort of breach of power or something with Joe
Pay to
Biden.
play, quid pro Joe,
Yeah, so that to me is
treason.
that is more something that I care about more is just like, really, come on. We have all this proof. Joe Biden is as corrupt as they come. It's so obvious, and nothing is happening there. So that's what I would like to see happen more than anything. Because Hunter, at the end of the day, I mean, he's just a loser, crackhead, whatever. It'd be
Yeah.
great if he went to prison for his crimes, but at the end of the day, I mean,
He's a product of his
he's just
his
another.
great parents.
Yeah. So
And that reminded me, I think on the Daily Wire yesterday, Knowles was talking about Senator Menendez, Senator in New Jersey, who they're wanting to resign now, who has
the
been
bribery.
corrupt for forever, but he is the lead of the uh, foreign committee. What committee does he leave? Committee chair.
Because they found him with like
Is it the
$500,000.
foreign relations? Yeah, he is the chair of the foreign relations committee, which oddly enough, they said is what Biden was the chair of when he was in office. So all these fucking guys, excuse me, all these lowlifes are the chairs of these big committees and getting paid off by other countries. So that's great. It's great and it's fun and it's cool.
Yeah. I mean, with the whole Ukraine thing, and then I think Joe Biden giving another $300 million to Ukraine, that just further shows their corruption. And I mean, because why are we sending them all that money? That's what I really want to know. I think that's what everybody in America wants to know right now.
Yep. I could not agree with you more there.
I think there's a big money laundering and corruption issue going on here. And that I don't hear talked about nearly enough. The additional money being sent to Ukraine recently.
It's almost like
I don't
they
hear
don't
anyone
they
talking about it on the right or the left. And
it
that is
seems to me it's almost like everyone is resigned to just like, oh, this is our fate. They're just gonna give all our money away. Oh well.
and I guess maybe because in the grand scheme of how much money we've already sent over there, 300 million additional dollars is really not that much. Because we've already sent like billions and billions and billions. So maybe that's why. Maybe they're just like, yeah, whatever. This is just another. Just a few more things.
I heard actually yesterday somewhere that Rand Paul was saying he's gonna hold up the government spending bill if it includes aid to Ukraine. So I'm not sure if this money that Biden is talking about is through Congress or if the president has power to just send money out of thin air to wherever, you know? Because maybe it's both. So I don't want to get copyright infringement. I know so many people, so many hundreds of thousands of viewers are going to be watching this. But yeah, so I'm curious about that.
It'll just be us watching it back.
Watching and cringing.
Nah, I'm never watching these. Too scared to cringe. Huh? I think you're on mute. I think you're muted.
Internationally, between the borders. Why do we how do we not have any internet right now?
I thought it was me. I was like, dude, I don't hear anything you're saying, but I'm just gonna nod along.
Heck,
No, I think you keep freezing. Probably because of the weather.
weather. What weather's going on?
There's like thundering.
This call is being recorded. I hope it's still being recorded. Okay, I got some bars again. Folks, sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties. But anyhow, stop trying to see. China is just continually trying to push their influence out in that area of the world, which I don't really blame them because it's a pretty strategic pond there, body of water. So yeah, damn, this is all they could put up over there, a freaking rope. What the hell are we worried about? That's the best they got. I'm not worried about it. I'm not I'm not worried about China at all, dude. These guys are a bunch of silly geese. It's a news story. This is a clickbait. This is what happens when you do 5 minutes of prep before your show. Good, good. But anyway, if anyone's curious about the South China Sea, we're gonna get into that right now. South China Sea, here it is, right here. South China Sea, there's Hong Kong, Taiwan. Everybody knows China believes Taiwan is part of them. Taiwan, it says they're independent. We have Vietnam over here and the Philippines. I know we have a lot of bases in the Philippines, and if you go further north and west, or east, I should say, you got Japan, South Korea. So this sea right here, I can understand how China would want to have more influence over this sea since we have our guns pointed at them in the Philippines, Japan, South Korea. But F China, so I'm glad they were able to cut that rope and win the war. What are your thoughts on that, Harriet?
I have zero thoughts on the South China issue, to be honest. I don't know much about it, and I just heard it from you like 10 minutes ago. So
I believe even in they've created a man-made island, China, at a strategic location. My buddy over there.
no idea, but I am interested in the China-Taiwan issue.
Tensions.
Tensions, yeah, tensions rising. Oh, jeez. Okay.
Somebody wants a booby, huh? New artificial islands in South China Sea. Yeah. Spratly Islands. What's that about?
Daddy.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so that's the island right here off the Philippines. I don't like that. So you're wanting to know more about the Taiwan-China relations issues? Is the strawberry on the loose?
Sorry, Strawberry's back. What were you asking me?
So you're saying you're curious about the China-Taiwan tensions?
Yeah, I'm curious to hear any updates about that. Anything new?
I haven't heard any news on that. I think the last I heard was I think some Taiwanese officials were visiting us. We were visiting them.
Mom, Daddy.
Let's go to news. Tense. So I know in June, U.S. and Taiwan signed a new trade deal. So yeah, I haven't really heard anything new about that. I know Taiwan's a very important island because that's pretty much where all the semiconductors are made. And I know there are companies trying to reshore the semiconductor industry, at least that part of it, because it's many different parts with different levels of skill and knowledge. But Taiwan has probably, I think what goes on in Taiwan is the most advanced and skilled labor part of the whole process. So basically, I can, that is a huge asset. So if China just invades Taiwan and takes them over, then basically all the modern technology we have stops. And vice versa, if we cut off Taiwan from China, because Taiwan says screw you, and we say, okay, we got the guns, we'll cut you. We say screw you too, then that does the same thing to China. So basically, the sooner we reshore our stuff from China, sorry, the semiconductor stuff here, so we don't have to rely on Taiwan, the sooner the better. I also don't think it'd be good to just toss them in the garbage as soon as we don't need them anymore, but that seems to be a U.S. foreign policy strategy. Just like those poor Afghanis. What a disaster. You are muted, by the way.
Yeah, my roommate is
Ring.
harassing me.
How come there's 3 on here? Oh, meeting host. Very cool. Okay, so that's enough fun about the South China Sea, and everyone's super pumped about that. Other news in business is I think Amazon is getting into monopoly trouble, allegedly. FTC, Federal Trade Commission in 17 states filed sweeping antitrust suit against Amazon.
Is that because people are just jelly that they're doing so well, or what's up with that? I don't really understand that whole issue.
I don't know. This is a tricky one to me because, like, I understand with like the railroads and the steel industry and oil, where they're all kind of doing one thing, and eventually one company buys all the other companies. Same with pharmaceutical and finance and banking. One company eventually buys off everybody, and there's no competition. But at Amazon, they kind of, in my opinion, combined UPS with Walmart and made like a new thing. So I don't really think it's an antitrust issue, in my opinion. But I can understand how they make it really hard for small stores to stay in business.
I mean, that's kind of the freedom that we have in this country, though, is like you have the freedom to make whatever business you want. And if it doesn't thrive, then that's kind of on you. And if it does thrive, then that's great. And we should encourage that. And I think that people are just upset because Amazon does really well. I think I'm okay with like, if you're doing really well, if you're doing things to actively, if you're doing things, okay. If you're doing things to actively prevent other companies from doing better, then that's one thing, which I don't think Amazon is doing anything directly to any other companies. But I think also if you are a monopoly and you take over this whole industry at such an exaggerated rate, then I think you should give up certain freedoms as a private company, because even though you are still technically, I guess, a private company, I don't believe that you should be able to fully operate as a private company, because at that point it's like, what other options do we have? We don't really have a whole lot of options.
Oh, I think I see what they're. Yeah, I agree with you there. But I think this is the claim is that they use their power not really against, well, it says the shoppers, but more so on the sellers. So I guess the people who sell stuff on there, they're charging them higher and higher fees because what are you going to do? Go somewhere else? There is
But
nowhere else to go.
that's the thing is like you have the freedom to create a company that will combat or be a competition for Amazon. And if you don't want to do that because it's too difficult to do or whatever, and you want to sell your stuff on Amazon, then you're kind of subject to what Amazon's rules are. And I think, but at the same time, when you do become a monopoly like that, I think that you do give up certain rights as a private business. And in that case, and it's like, okay, maybe somebody can step in, but then at the same time, it's like, that's kind of a slippery slope because you never want to give too much power to government. You don't know what they'll do with it, but the seller, nobody is holding a gun to these sellers' heads. Nobody's forcing them to sell their stuff on Amazon. There's other platforms you can sell your stuff on. Public Square, I hear, is good. Etsy, I don't know, eBay. It's like you don't have to sell your stuff on Amazon. And so then when you want to sell your stuff on Amazon, it doesn't go exactly the way you want, or Amazon has the power to be like, I don't like that deal. And then you get all pissy about it and then you try to sue. It's like, who are you?
Yeah,
I don't know. That's my opinion.
it can be a tricky case for sure.
Yeah, it is interesting.
I'd like to hear the opening remarks from the defendants and the prosecution. All
Yeah.
right. So we also forgot to talk about Miller Hunter Biden, that it's Treason Tuesday. So that was our Treason Tuesday story. All right. I think that's it, folks. That's been the first episode of the Right is Right podcast today with our hosts, Harriet Tubman and Nanya. We'll see you guys soon. We're going to try to do this several times a week, usually weekdays. Who knows? Maybe we'll get some bonuses on the weekend. All right. Have a good one. Anything to say there, Harriet?
Nope. That's it.
Excellent.
All
Good
right.
night,
Bye.
everyone.
Dude, I got a freaking roommate over here. I was gonna riot.